Hi and welcome along to the Invincible podcast, brought to you today by Who Knows Wins, the brilliant app. Lee, great to see you, mate. You're looking fresh, you're looking well. Right.
Summer out there at the moment, isn't it?
Summer is out there. Summer is coming for a week. or probably about 2-3 days before it gets back to being normal UK. But brought to us today by Who Knows Wins. Don't forget, deposit £5 on the app. The link is in the description. Chance again this week to win £10,000, Lee. Last week, we both thought that we'd done brilliantly.
Oh, I thought we'd done well, yeah.
We both got 7 out of 10, but so many people scored highly on it. You know, there's quite a lot of people got 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
And shared that pot of, 10 grand. So they still were up brilliantly, but yeah, we tied last week.
Some people got 9 and only won a tenner because there was too many good players.
I don't know, see that, man. Paul Machin from Redmond. I couldn't believe it.
How can you get 10 out of 10? That's got to be our aim by the end of the season to get 10 out of 10.
Got to get a 10 out of 10, man.
One of us has got to do it.
Yeah. Now, well, let's see if we can do it this week. Just running through some of the games. There's an international flavour to it this week, so there's games in it. I'm interested to see how you went with, say, these international ones, right? So, England v Switzerland. What did you go?
Switzerland. No. Granit Xhaka, 2 goals.
Granit Xhaka hat-trick.
No, I've gone England. Can't go against England, particularly at home.
Yeah. Although there's been a lot of players dropping out. They're not always the easiest things to predict either, because a lot of players have dropped out. Unfortunately, Aaron Ramsdale, who I'm sure would have started in that, he's dropped out.
Yeah.
But Smith Rowe and Saka could feature. It should be really good to see some Arsenal players back in that England team. Ireland versus Belgium.
I've gone Belgium.
Yeah, I've gone Belgium. Spain versus Albania. Spain.
Yes.
All right, this one's interesting. Netherlands versus Denmark.
Now, this one is a tough one, because Denmark apparently... I can't think. What's his name's come back, isn't he?
Ericsson,
yeah.
No, I don't think he's playing in this.
He's not playing this one, but he's in the squad.
I'm sure I heard that he might be, but I'm sure I heard he's not going to play in that game.
Oh, right. So
yeah, didn't he have COVID in the last Denmark game? Sorry, the last
Brentford game.
Brentford game against I'm sure he had COVID, so I don't think he's going to figure.
Oh, right. But I thought he was in the squad, or he was pulled.
He would have been. Yeah, he would have been. But I think he's.
Oh, right. So that'd have been an emotional thing for that, but. I've gone Holland, but Holland are a funny old side.
They are at home. I've gone for a draw. Denmark are a good team, man.
They are. They're decent, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I remember they gave England a really tough time, even when we played.
So probably the better side, weren't they?
So, Who Knows Wins. The link's in the description, and you can get involved in it. A chance to win £10,000 this weekend with all the international games. International break. I'm a bit gutted again, man. Why do we need another one right now? You know what I mean? The season is getting in a nice momentum. There's the battle for who's going to win the league. There's a battle for who's going to get top 4. There's the relegation battle, and then they go and fling an international break, right? Well, I kind of get it a bit more this time, because obviously you've got some World Cup qualifiers like Wales and teams like that. You know what I mean? These are big games for them. But it's killed the momentum a bit. And our game last week at Villa Park, great performance, wasn't it?
Everything. I just thought it was fantastic. First and foremost, big up to the Arsenal fans that went to that game. Up past 12 kickoff. I was up about 5:30 that day, but everybody was up for it. I got to say that you got to the ground, there was a buzz about the ground that I haven't experienced probably since we was winning titles. Do you know when?
Wow.
I'll be honest. In the away end, over the last few years, Wenger years and everything, there's been fractions. There's been. Sometimes you're frightened to say something just in case someone has a go at you, or people are arguing with each other, and I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like people, arguing over if Theo Walcott should be in the team, or all of that sort of stuff. It was getting really toxic in there. Yeah. And I weren't enjoying it as much. You think like. It was back to how it was, you know what I mean? Everybody all together, fantastic atmosphere. And I'll tell you what was great, on the train coming back into the city centre and the pubs in the city centre, if you see an Arsenal fan, you was high-fiving them, and everybody was together. And Aston Villa, I've got to say, their fans were fantastic as well in the pubs and all that, very gracious in defeat. And it was interesting to hear what they were saying about the Arsenal, and they were saying some good stuff. It was just
what were they saying?
They was just saying what a very, very good side we are. You can see there's a difference in Arsenal. They said like Coutinho has been playing really, really well for them. Didn't really play that well because he felt that we snuffed him out in midfield. We really, and that was nice to hear that all of a sudden other fans from other teams are saying Arsenal were defending really well.
No, opposition fans, even the other day against Liverpool, speaking to a couple of Liverpool fans after the game, they're like, you know what, we've seen a big improvement in Arsenal. That's like, they're like, all right, well, listen, we're a really, really good side, but we see an incoming threat, was the vibe I was picking up off of Liverpool fans with Arsenal. If they, in the summer, build upon that, we see an incoming threat in Arsenal. So, and certainly that was a performance, because you looked at that game, it had all the ingredients of a banana skin in the race for that top four. Villa, they're playing well. They've got very good players. That's the thing about them, you know what I mean? Coutinho, as you just mentioned, Ollie Watkins, John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, in goal, Martinez, you know what I mean? They're a proper team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Managed by Gerrard. Fans are right behind them, sun shining. You're thinking to yourself, 12:30 kickoff. These are the sort of games over the years where you've seen Arsenal crumble. But right from the start of the game, Arsenal were on the front foot, took the game completely to Villa and just knocked them off their stride, didn't they?
Yeah, and to be honest, we shouldn't have got into a position where we was hanging on for the last 5 minutes. We shouldn't have. We should have been, home and dry by that. But in saying that can happen to anybody.
Yeah.
But what's the next thing you do is you ride it out. You defend really, really well, and I thought we did. I look back on it. Yeah, we was nervous at the end, but realistically, when you look back,
they didn't have any chances really.
No, they didn't really create nothing.
There's the Coutinho free kick right at the end, which Pepe, he's got to learn to manage games properly, because that was a bit of a stupid foul to give away.
Poor cameo.
But the thing is about it, right, is that, like you said, there wasn't like endless goalmouth scrambles or the bar gets hit and the Villa go away from that game saying, "Oh, we were unlucky." That was a deserved 1-0 win. It was a proper away performance.
What's good about it is, and this is what I like about Ben White and Gabriel, is that in the past when we've gone 1-0 up, our defenders have panicked, caught in the headlights sort of thing. But that's their job. Now, all of a sudden, we went 1-0 up, it didn't go for us, right? And then it goes, right, they're going to put it on us now. And you could see Ben White and Gabriel go, right, it's my time. This is my time now.
Yeah.
Like, this is when I've got, we've had all the play and everything. Now I'm going to have to put my head there and defend. And they enjoy that pressure of defending. And I haven't seen that since the Adams, Bold, Sol Campbell sort of people, do you know what I mean? Proper defenders that want to defend.
The difference for me as well that I'm seeing is that all of a sudden it looks like we've got a proper midfield.
Oh, yeah.
Because Thomas Partey now is starting to dominate game after game in that midfield.
Yeah.
Xhaka's playing better in that sort of more forward role. And Odegaard has been excellent as well. And I thought the midfield, as I said, I spoke about, I just described their midfield before. They've got McGinn, Douglas Luiz, Coutinho.
It's a good midfield.
It's a very good midfield, but we snuffed it completely out with ours. And it was really good to see. And Leno in goal, who came in, didn't put a foot wrong as well. And I just love the spirit, like you said. Ramsdale was there, doesn't need to be there. He could be at home with his feet up. He was out injured. He was at the game.
Yeah. Came
on the pitch hugging Leno and stuff like that. What did you make of the criticisms afterwards for the celebrations at the end?
Loving it. Listen. All of a sudden, I've always said this. Once managers start moaning and groaning about Arsenal, and once fans or players start moaning about Arsenal, something's happening. In the past, being very, very complimentary to Arsenal and everything like that. Why? Because they know that they're not a threat. Now we're a threat. And I love it. We're upsetting people. I loved it to celebrate. Listen, I've got up at 5:30 in the morning, had a really good day. We put in a good performance. I've just want to walk off at the end of the day. I've said for years and years, Robbie, like on shows with AFTV and everything, been very, very jealous of other clubs players going up to celebrate with us. We haven't had that for years, by the way. Right,
players just walking off.
It was just players walking off. I think Mertesacker trying to drag players back.
Yeah, remember that time he tried to drag back Ozil?
You know what I mean, like and things like that. Now the players want to engage with the fans and everything like that, and I think it's a big thing.
What a wonderful thing to see. You know what I mean? You've gone away from home, like you just said. You know what I mean? You're up at 4 or 5 in the morning. You've travelled all the way up to Birmingham, right? You've seen a good game of football. Your team's performed well, and all of your players and the manager comes across and connects with you, thanks you for coming, right? You thank them for putting in a great performance. That's what football's all about. And then you've got people, Ashley Young, Gabby Abonio, all these guys, all right, I know they're a bit hurt because Villa lost, but they celebrated like they won the league. What is What is a good celebration? So you're supposed to have different grades of celebration now. There's a half grade celebration. Listen, celebrate wins. Celebrate wins. And what people are forgetting is, if we remember the context of it, everyone's expecting us to maybe slip up in that game. We've gone there. We put in a great performance. Celebrate it. That was a critical game just before an international break. We all know if we lost that game, it's the opposite. You're going into that international break now. Your heads are down. You're thinking to yourself, there's lots of doubts in everybody's mind.
Yeah, it's a big win. Big win.
Massive win. Why can't we celebrate? I don't get it.
And I don't care about anybody. What it was for me was a celebration between Arsenal players and Arsenal fans and Arsenal Football Club. Yeah. Don't worry about anybody else. That was it for me. You know what I mean? I appreciated, and I have appreciated the way the players come over and do that. When we've lost, you know what I mean? They come over, like the game against Liverpool, they still walked around and all that. You're not as involved as much as it because you're a little bit down that you've lost, but ultimately you appreciate it. And I appreciate them coming over and saying, do you know what? We appreciate you for getting up, spending the money and following the Arsenal. And that I think that's
the connection.
It's the connection of that, and that has been missing for a very, very long while at Arsenal. Now you've got it. We was talking about this the other day. I say it the players now. If one of them walked past, you'd make an effort to go and say, "Well done."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hello, how are you? All right, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. In the past, if those players walked past me, I'm not bothered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there's an appreciation that you've got up and supported the team. And I know for a fact that those players do appreciate that Arsenal players being there, because I used to ask questions to ex-players, do you appreciate it? Because I was feeling like that we was being that unappreciated.
Yeah.
And all the players turn around and says nothing better than when you walk out on the pitch and on a away game and you see the end packed week in, week out, wherever it is, with your home or away. Arsenal fans pack out wherever they go. And I think it should be celebrated, and I think that there was something special about that on Saturday that I've not experienced for a very, very long while. Forget whether you won the game or not, because when we went in there, we didn't know we was going to win the game, but you could sense that there was a togetherness with the Arsenal fans. The atmosphere, by the way, in that stadium was and it's on 2 tiers as well. Don't forget, it's not just 1 tier; it's 2 tiers.
2 tiers on the side there.
The atmosphere was electric. You could hear the bottom singing, you could hear the top singing. It was fantastic. Well done to Arsenal fans.
Great by the fans, great by the team, and a massive result. Just before I delve a bit deeper now into the run-ins, right? Saka also came out after the game and was having a bit of a moan about the fact that he doesn't feel he gets enough protection from referees. Steven Gerrard fired back and said, listen, stop moaning, get used to it. I'm sitting here, I've got bits of metal in my leg with screws and that where I've been injured. But does Saka have a point? I saw a stat on James's show, the Tactical Insight that he did with Graham. Guys, check out the show. Great show,
brilliant
by the
show,
way.
Brilliant.
Right, where they said that he's the most foul player in the Premier League now, Saka. And certainly in that game, he got in for the treatment. We've seen it in a lot of games, innit? He's target number 1. Stop him at all costs. And a lot of times that's what's happening. And I think what Saka's moaning about, listen, I think he knows he's targeted now because, you know, and it's a compliment to you. You're a good player, so they're trying to stop you. So it's a compliment that you're targeted. But what he's saying is be fair with it. You know what I mean? Don't let the first 3 bad tackles go without giving a yellow card. Give me a bit of protection there, you know what I mean?
100%. Listen, I love Coutinho to be on the end of a tackle what Mings was on.
Yeah, what Mings put on, yeah.
Yeah, and Steven Gerrard going, that's okay. You know what I mean?
He wouldn't have done,
of
would
course
he?
He wouldn't have done. Like,
he wouldn't have done.
I
think they found that there's like a video of him when he was at Rangers.
Yeah,
asking for protection for his players.
Exactly. So I get what he's, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I think he was gracious in defeat, but you could see that he was upset as well, you know what I mean? Because he's a winner. I get that.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that I see there was one when McGinn goes past someone, there's a little bump, referee quickly gives the foul, which was a foul, not arguing. When it's Saka, they go, oh, let it go. And then the worse foul comes in. He gets fouled, like, you know, and there's a reluctance to say, do it. I know you want to try and make it.
You want to make the game flow and everything, I get that, but sometimes
you have to turn around and go.
A bad tackle is a bad tackle. It doesn't matter about, you know, and sometimes what they'll do, what I've noticed in games, they're letting 2 or 3 go first. Before they show the yellow card. Well, that's, you know.
The thing about him being the most foul player and everything, he's going to have to accept that because Grealish got it last year.
Yeah.
He entices fouls by the way he plays, you know what I mean? And that's a good thing because he's got such good ability that he is going to, you know, he's going to get fouled because good players get fouled. It's as simple as that. Yeah. So he's going to have to accept that. He's going to have to get accept
well, I think he's used to it now. But he's just saying, can I have a bit more protection, please?
And a bit more protection. But what was wonderful about that, from my point of view, was, you know, Ashley Young is you know, been a fantastic player in his day. He tried to use all of his experience that he possibly could to stop, and he couldn't.
No,
he couldn't. Like, do you know what I mean? He couldn't. He tried all the tricks in the book. He just got skinned by him every single time.
He was dizzy at the end of the game.
He was, like, you know, and he probably, like, you know, was saying about the celebrations because I think at the end of the day he's very clever because by saying that he's put it off how well he was roasted by him, like, do you know what I mean? So
roasted
but he was.
Yeah, but listen, someone in the studio said he roasted like a chicken.
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't. It's not having a go at Ashley Young because, like, a lot of very, very good players are going to get roasted by him. But I think he was. Listen, he was fantastic, by the way. He was unplayable at times on Saturday. I've got to say that, like, you know. So he is going to get fouled. There's no two ways about it.
Yeah. Now, listen. The interesting thing about it is that it was a very good weekend in a way for Arsenal. Man United didn't play, so they would have been sitting there worried about what's going on. Tottenham played, but they played West Ham. So even though they won, that still took points off of another team that's in that shake-up to try and get the top 4. Let's look at the top 4 positions. Arsenal currently occupied... Well, actually, hold on, let's look at 3rd place. Right, so 3rd place occupied by Chelsea. They played the same amount of games as us, 28. They've got 59 points. Arsenal 5 points behind them on 54 points, played 28 games. Tottenham are 3 points behind Arsenal, but have played a game more. They're on 51 points. Manchester United played 29 on 50 points, so they're 4 points off of Arsenal. And West Ham starting to slip away now. They're played 30 games, so that's 2 more than Arsenal, and they're 6 points behind. And Wolves had a really damaging defeat against Leeds, 2-0 up. They're on 30 now. They're in 8th place. They've got 46 points. They're kind of starting to look like they're dropping out of it now. West Ham are looking like they're dropping out of it. I really do think that battle for the top 4 is between Arsenal, Tottenham and Man United. It was a good win for Tottenham, beating West Ham. They're only 3 points behind. And of course, one of those games in hand that we've got is against them, right? So we still got to go to their place. So I was just very intrigued to start looking at the run-ins for the teams going for it. Now, when you look at Arsenal's running, on paper, it doesn't look great. It's not an easy run-in. The next game is away at Crystal Palace. Palace, of course, who gave us a really difficult game at the start of this season. You remember we came from behind to equalise 2-2. At the time, a lot of people was having a go at Lacazette for celebrating that. That's now looking like a big point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, we've got them. That's going to be a tough game. They've been playing well. Just beat Everton in the FA Cup 4-0. Then we're at home to Brighton. Brighton have been falling off a cliff recently. So you think to yourself, that's definitely a game we'd be looking to win. Away at Southampton, they haven't been playing as well recently either. That's definitely a winnable game. Then we get towards the end of April now into a couple of real tough games and real pivotal games that I think if we win those, actually, first of all, let me start with those three. Palace, Brighton, Southampton. Do you think those are 9 points a must? Or do you look at it and say, all right, even 7 points out of those three would be a good return? What do you think?
No, 9 points.
9 points.
We've got to get 9 points going into those next few games after that. If we get 9 points from Palace, Brighton and Southampton, we've got 1 foot there.
And when you look at our...
1 foot.
I was discussing this with a few people and they were saying, those are tough games. I was saying, yeah, but so is Villa away and we've done that.
Yeah.
So is Wolves away. We did that. Down to 10 men. So we've shown that we can go to those really tough places away and get results. So I think going to Wolves away is as tough as going to Palace away. Villa away is as tough as going to either of those away. So anyway, towards the end of April now is Chelsea. Away at Chelsea. Then the following week, we're at home to Manchester United. What about those two?
As long as we beat Man United.
Have to beat United, don't we?
Yeah. If we beat Man United, listen, if we could win our next 5 games, and that means Chelsea and Man United, then you can that'd be it. But I think Chelsea's going to be difficult. Well, no one knows what. See, the good thing about we've got games at this moment, like Manchester United, not so much Manchester United, definitely Chelsea. They've got the FA Cup semi-final. They've got the Champions League. They're still in there. So do you remember last year we went to Chelsea just before they played the FA Cup final and we beat them? It wasn't quite at it. And one, I think that probably 5 points in front there are secured top 4 for them, 3. I think they're finished third. So they might just take their eye off it slightly. You know what I mean? And that could be
United won't go.
Man
United now as well. Remember, they're out of the all competitions. Top 4 is their only, and the bit like us is for them. I think even more than us, it's essential for them. They're bringing in a new manager. They want to get new players in. They need to be back in the Champions League.
Massive
It'd be a massive failure for them.
Game that would be like.
Huge game.
It will only be a massive game if we've accumulated the points in those games before.
Right.
So,
then we get into May, which of course is when the season finishes this year. 1st of May we go to West Ham away. Don't know what sort of West Ham will be facing. Will they be completely out of that race by then? Will they be having one eye maybe on
that's what
a Europa League semi-final or something like that?
Yeah, let's hope so.
Then we've got Leeds at home. That could be a Leeds that's still in a relegation fight, remember?
Yeah.
Newcastle away. I don't think Newcastle are going to be in a relegation fight.
No, that's going to be a tough game.
But it'll be a tough game because they'll be at home and they'll be probably their last home game of the season. They'll want to put in a performance. It'll be tough. And then the last game of the season at home against Everton, who've been shocking this season, shocking on the road. But it could be a game. Everton may need that.
They may need something for it. Yeah, they may need.
So it could be a highly competitive game.
And in between that, Leeds and probably Newcastle week, we're going to have Spurs. So that's going to be a tough.
And the Spurs game to be rearranged in there.
So their running is probably going to be West Ham away, Leeds at home, Tottenham away, Newcastle away, Everton at home. That's going to be a difficult May.
It's difficult, but I look on it and I think,
it's good to be in it, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Come on,
it's good to be in it.
Better than being 8th, isn't it? And out of it.
The real tough game in there to me is the Spurs away one. That's the one. The Spurs away one, the Man United, the Chelsea. Those are the crunch games. But like you said, they're only crunch games if you do your business in and around you. Let's look at Tottenham's running and look at the games that they've got to come, because It's all right. Looking at our running, let's see what they face as well. So their next game, they've got Newcastle at home.
Not an easy game. I think they're winnable.
I'd expect them to beat Newcastle. Yeah. But then they've got that very tough trip away to Aston Villa as well. That's their next game after that. That's not going to be easy, as we found. Even though we played really well, but not an easy place to go to. They've got top players. The following week after that, on the 16th of April, they face Brighton at home. We'd expect them to win that.
Yeah, I'd expect them to win that.
Then they go to Brentford away. Brentford not out of the relegation fight yet, but I would expect them to beat
that's another win.
To beat Brentford. They then go away to Liverpool. Liverpool, of course, chasing the title. I think that's a very tough game. But then they've got 2 very easy games in their last couple games. At home against Burnley. Well, you say easy, but Burnley, they'll be fighting for their lives, Burnley, because they could be on a relegation battle. Last game of the season, they go away to Norwich. That's a free hit. Norwich will be down already by then, so you couldn't hope for an easier last game in a way. Although sometimes those teams just go happy-go-lucky.
That's a very easy running, that is, by the way.
They've got a much easier running than us when you look on that, right? And they're only the 3 points.
So they've got something that no other team in that middle going for. They've got 6 points against Man City. Take those 6 points off, because no one else has got them.
Yep,
they'd be out of it. So those 2 results against Man City have kept them alive in this
big results.
Yeah,
I guess if you take 6 points off of Man City, you kind of deserve
to be where you are.
To be in and around.
Listen, they've lost. People will turn around and say, "Oh well, they've lost to Southampton at home. They've lost to Burnley and all that." We've all done that.
Yeah.
Arsenal have dropped points against Everton that they shouldn't have done. So, but to get 6 points against Manchester City is
I think what I'd say with Tottenham, they have showed this season that they're the type of team that there'll be a game against a team they're expected to walk, and they'll slip up. So definitely not a foregone
Listen,
conclusion.
I'll be very, very happy if Newcastle get something against them. That'll be Newcastle will still be looking to obviously to improve, and if Newcastle can get something to that would be a nice little cushion if we could get the result.
Yeah. Right, Man United. Right? This is their next set of games. Leicester at home. I'd expect them to beat Leicester at home.
Yeah.
But Leicester, after the international break, they'll have a few more players back. Maybe Vardy, but, they're a decent side. If you can't be not completely on it against them. They then go and play Everton away. Now, looks an easy game, but Everton are fighting for their lives. And at home, Goodison, they were shocking against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, they're poor, right? Everton.
But the previous game to that, they won at home.
Yeah,
and that place was rocking. That won't be easy, but you probably think United. Then they got Norwich at home. That's 3 points. But then they go away to Liverpool. Then follow that, the week after that, they then got to come away to Arsenal, playing us. So those are not easy games. There's a lot of...
This is why these 3 games for Arsenal are so massive, because I think that Tottenham will win their 3, Man United win their 3. If Arsenal win their 3 as well, then if they were to lose to Man United were to lose to Liverpool, we can knock them out of the competition. Just say, beat them, and that would be, 6, maybe, we were 4 points clear, say 7 points going into the last 3 or 4 games. That'd be enough, I think.
Then now, the last month of May, Man United have got Brentford at home. I'd expect 3 points for them there. They go away to Brighton, see them winning that. But then they got Chelsea at home. That won't be easy.
No, and Palace.
And Palace away, their last game of the season. So again, not easy.
Looking at that, Spurs have got they've got the easier running.
Spurs have got the easier running. They've got the easier running. And I think as well, when you look at it, Tottenham, Man United, Arsenal, none of them have got anything else to focus upon.
No.
Or to distract them apart from going for that top 4. So we're going to see a proper race here.
Yeah.
And it's going to come down to, I think what it's going to come down to, who's got, as Troy Deeney once said, who's got the cojones? Who is going to be that team that can go on a consistent run? At the moment, you're looking at it, you're thinking, the two teams are on form, Arsenal and Spurs. They're the two teams that seem to be putting little runs together. You know, Tottenham at home, they're quite strong. Arsenal are quite strong in general. They've only really been beaten by the teams above them. United are the team at the moment. Excuse me. United are the team at the moment that are kind of, their form's dodgy. You know what I mean? But they've only got now that top four place to focus on. We've seen United in the past. There was that season when they were going for the top four up against Leicester. They went on this unbelievable run and got the top four. We've got a proper race on our hands, Lee.
He's got a proper race, and looking at it, it's going to be. I think it's going to go down to the wire. I really do.
April is huge, isn't it?
I think the next 3 games for Arsenal are all winnable, but they're all massive games. And if I honestly think that we've got to take 9 points. I really do think that we've got to take 9 points. If we
9
take
points, and anybody, if Arsenal take 9 points from those games, and anybody slips up in the meantime. Because remember, with the advantage is still with us at the moment. We're 3 points above Tottenham, so the advantage is with us. But we got. I think I agree with you. I mean, we can take 9 points from those 3 games before we get to that Chelsea game and Man United. I mean,
I think if we take the 9 points, that gives us confidence going into those 2 big games when we could probably still be. How can I say it? Like if we was to get 3 out of 6, that we'd still be in a good position going forward. Like, you know, that's what you want, and that's with the other teams all winning as well. Like, do you know what I mean? So, listen, we're in a position where we can afford, and I don't like that thing of losing a game where the others can't. So there's a little bit of pressure on the others because of that. What we need to do is keep that pressure on.
Yeah,
make sure that if we was to win the next 3 games. You know, like they'd be looking at it and going, "God, we've won and they've won again." You know, I don't care what anybody says. Manchester United sitting at home would have been hoping that Villa might have nicked something at that game.
No,
didn't.
All of them did.
Didn't. You know what I mean?
All of them did. That's a game.
Tottenham
you're looking in the running. You're looking at a game where teams can slip up.
We're looking at when Spurs go there. Yeah. You know what I mean? That could be possibly a draw. You know what I mean? Like, so when that doesn't happen, it is a knock. It is a knock for you, like, you know. So listen, it's as I said, you know what I mean. Take those 6 points away from Tottenham, which the Man City one, which none of us have got. They'd be out of it now. So you know they're in it. So and it's going to be really, really tough. But the pressure's on other teams as much as it is us, Robbie. Like, do you know what I mean?
This is why. This is exactly why when you look at it, you say it's game by game now. It's game by game because. There's, you know, games in hand, all of that means nothing now. No. It's all about winning the game in front of you. You know, and we're the hunted right now. Well, you know what I mean? We're the hunted for that spot. We can't afford to slip up. But maybe we've been handling that pressure pretty well so far.
We have, and it will come down to when people keep going on about the manager and the players and all that. We need to keep what we're doing, which is fantastic, but we then need to win one of those big games. We need to beat a Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham. For instance, if we was to get results in the Chelsea and Man United game, we could actually go to Spurs and go, do you know what? Break us down. You know, their strength is in on the counter-attack. Will you come and try and break us down? We're at you on the counter-attack. Yeah. You know, that's what you want.
Are you confident that we can get a top 4 this year?
I'm more confident than... Well, looking at those fixtures, it worries me. But I am a little bit more confident because I feel we've got more reliability in our defence. I think our defence is Spurs is, you know, you can get at them. And Manchester United just don't know what you're going to get. We've got like a definite strength in there, and I feel like that's why I always go on about over the last few weeks clean sheets, Robbie. Just, you know what I mean, like what that clean sheet on Saturday, sends out a message, you know what I mean? Like, hard to beat. If we'd have won that 4-3, people are going, there's a dodgy thing in that, do you know what I mean? But you 2-0 against Leicester, keep riding out the 1-0, 2-0s. I think they're more important now that you get those results than the 3-2s or the 3-1s and things like that.
Yeah.
It shows you the defence is doing its job.
Funny because you're saying, you're probably right. Like, I look at it and I think to myself, defence, we've got a better defence than those two, Man United and also Tottenham. I think our midfield is stronger as well at the moment than those two. Wide players are looking good in Martinelli and Saka and Smith Rowe. Still, the only worry for me is up front. What those two teams have over us is those killers up front. Tottenham got Harry Kane, Son as well has been starting scoring again.
Yeah.
Man United got Ronaldo. He's always going to, scores lots of goals. Bruno Fernandes. Those are the little areas where I'm just I still think, I just don't want that to come back and bite us. The fact that in January we didn't get that killer striker. If we had that killer striker right now, I'm quite confident that we're getting. I still feel, looking at the games, and I'm not basing this off of the games that are in front of this. I'm basing it off of how we're playing.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. This is the Premier League. You can't look at any team and think, we should, right? But what I'm looking at is how Arsenal are playing at the moment. How Arsenal went to Aston Villa and said, we know you're a good side, but we're better. We move the ball brilliantly, and the patterns of play and the attacking football and the organisation of what I saw at Villa, and I've seen in other games, even the first half at Liverpool and other games that we played away from home. I'm looking at a team that if they continue playing like that, keep key players injury-free from now till the end of the season, I think that is a team capable of getting into the top four. I think that is a team, when I look at it and I look at the other two teams that are going for that top four, I'm not dissing West Ham, but I'm just going, Tottenham, Man United. I look at Arsenal at the moment and I say, currently, that out of those three teams, Arsenal play the best football.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we do.
Yeah.
I think that
so
we are.
If we can maintain that, we can get top four. Yeah. I have no doubt. But just my slight doubt is the striking department. Still Lacazette's scored one. Eddie Nketiah hasn't scored a goal yet. We're still relying on the wide players in Saka and Smith Rowe and Martinelli, and I'm still looking at Aubameyang banging in goals every week and thinking, should we have put an arm around him, or if not, should we have got a striker in? But listen, I'm not gonna fault Arteta because we're playing brilliant football. The team is playing. Yeah, we spoke about the spirit right at the start of the show. So, but I just hope we can. I think Lacazette, come on, step up in those games.
Well,
get us a few.
I think that he's got. That is a big worry for me. That is, you've hit the nail right on the head about the worry side of it. It is him, because I watched him on Saturday. He looked jaded. He looked tired. The 3 games in 6 days he can't do. And that's not a criticism of him as a. That's hard work up there.
The role he's playing at the moment.
He's hard
graft.
work. He has to graft.
He has to do so much work.
And he ran himself into the ground.
Yeah.
But when it mattered, the couple of decisions and the chances, he got them wrong again. Like, if he could just somehow get his confidence in front of goal going and all that.
4 or 5 goals before the end of the season.
Yeah, that would take us. It could be, a very, very thank you final departure for him. And one that, listen, he's
and
loved
we need
by the fans,
we need
the
fans love him, and we need an Eddie to come on and get a couple.
Wow. I'm sorry.
Get us a couple goals, Eddie. You know what I mean? We're going to need it between now and the end of the season.
It's the only criticism I've got of Mikel at the moment. I've been critical of Mikel Arteta, but at the moment he's winning everybody over, and deservedly so. But the continuation to keep playing Eddie is now.
You've got no one else, isn't it?
Well,
it's a striker.
You've got Martinelli that can. I don't know what's going to happen when Martinelli's fit. What he's going to do. It'd be interesting to see the team selection for the next game. But for me, we've got to look at that now. He come on Saturday, and he's slipping over. It's not the first time that he's done that. it's just not happening for him. It's not happening for him.
Well, it's going to have to happen for him. I feel, but listen, we're going to have to call on these guys, and it needs to happen for him between now and the end of the season. But I want to hear from you guys. Confident that Arsenal can get the top 4 when you look at those games, you look at the run-in. Are you confident? Also, talking of that, we're going to be coming up against Crystal Palace, obviously, in the next game. Patrick Vieira, of course, manager. Well done to him as well for getting Palace into the semi-final of the FA Cup. He's really proven to be a top manager at the moment. And inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. About time too.
Whoa.
And what a player he was.
The best midfield player to ever grace the Premier League, in my opinion. I'm saying that now. You know, I just think he was a wonderful. He could do it all.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, I love that. You wanted to go, come on, let's have it, Patrick. He'd smash you up. If he wanted to play football against you, he'd smash you up. Power. I believe
skill.
I believe, and I know, like you can go on about Thierry Henry, Dennis, but I believe Arsenal's best player.
Wow.
Because I just think that when you look back at all those big triumphs of Arsenal, he was at the heart of it.
He was a key component of that team when he played.
Old Trafford. Henry wasn't even there that day, you know what I mean? Patrick was.
He was a key component of that team, right? Just like everyone feared coming up against it. You got no change out of Vieira. And he had, you know, like now we talk about defensive midfielder, box-to-box midfielder. You know, he had like you said, he had everything. He could do all roles. He could do all roles. He was a hybrid. He was a hybrid defensive midfielder. Because I know a lot of people when he left, a lot of people saying, "Oh, we've never replaced Vieira. We've never had that. We've never had that holding midfielder." But he wasn't really a holding midfielder, was he? When I think back to when he was playing, I'll be there at games watching him, and like he wasn't really a defensive midfielder. He was more, I'd say, he'd be more box to box.
Everything. He had everything.
But he was just everywhere on the pitch.
And just everything. And I tell you what, like when people say you replace him, you can never replace him because there's no one better. That's it, like for me. Listen, he made Vaseline cool. Not, you know what?
When he's have it on his shirt.
What was it like the old Vicks? He made that cool on his shirt, like, you know. Even when I played, I put a bit of Vicks on my shirt, like, you know, made it cool. He made gloves cool because he was a hard player, like. You know, people used to say, like, "What are you wearing gloves? If it's good enough for Patrick, it's good enough for me." Do you know what I mean? Like, he just had that awesome thing about him.
Poise, strength.
And I was gutted. I was absolutely gutted when he left.
I was gutted when he left. That was the only thing, right? When he was at Arsenal, it was like we had about 3 seasons where every year.
Oh, I didn't like it. Is he staying?
Is he going? He never really in it as well. He teased a lot, didn't he? He never really.
Yeah, I remember that it was the 2001-2002 season. That summer was horrendous for me. We got Sol Campbell, remember that season? But there was all the talk of him going to Real Madrid. Unbelievably, then it come out that he'd signed a new contract, and I was delighted. And then in 2004, once we won the Invincible, again, he'd actually agreed to go to Real Madrid. Do you remember it? And then the next day, he changed his mind. That was a little bit of a distraction. And then the following season, when you just think, right, well, he's here now for a few more years, he actually went. And it was a sad because listen, he gave me one of the best debuts I've ever. I think probably the best debut that anybody come on that day. I didn't really know him. No one knew him.
No one knew him.
Against Sheffield Wednesday that day, and I went, wow, what a player! And that was in the first 20 minutes that he came on. You could see what a great player he was.
He had the best song.
I remember going. I remember going down Wembley Way for the cup final in 98 and on the train. That was every single fan was singing that. It was just something special. And I'll tell you what, Man United fans will disagree and they'll say Roy Keane, but the rivalry that them two had, it was box office to watch. Two of the best in the Premier League going at it. And I just think Vieira shaded it for me because he's just an all-round better footballer, you know. But Roy Keane and him went at it, and you know, you don't see that rivalry so much now. And
no, you don't. You don't see awesome. Like, you know, a midfield rivalry like that.
Nah.
at all no more, do you?
Well, I'll tell you what's the greatest thing is that Stephen Gerrard turned around and said, I thought I was good until I played against Patrick Vieira, and that was in the cup final in 2001. He said, I thought I was a good player, and then I come across Patrick.
Yeah, he was.
You know what I mean? So that says it all.
Do you see little bits of the recent performances by Partey?
Similar.
He doesn't sort of rampage around as much, but I see little glimpses of Patrick sometimes when I'm watching Partey play. But he just doesn't. He's not as mobile as Patrick.
No, there's similarities. There
are similarities, isn't it?
There is but
in the fact that skillful,
but
a big guy. You know what I mean? You can't bully him up. You know.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But put it in context. If you've never seen Patrick Vieira play, and a lot of youngsters, unbelievably probably haven't. Partey is good. Vieira's 10 times better.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
Do you know what I mean? That's nothing against. That's nothing against Partey. Patrick was the real deal, Robbie. He was the real deal.
Yeah.
I haven't seen no one better than that. I haven't seen that. The best three. Who is the best three midfield players that I've seen in the Premier League? I put them in 1, 2, 3, and I put that Vieira, Keane. Gerrard, that would be the three.
Yep.
That I would say, and in the times that I'm playing, and Partey, I've seen glimpses of it. Patrick was doing it week in, week out. From the first day you put the red shirt on to the last day.
So congratulations going out to Patrick Vieira, inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame with Wayne Rooney. Actually, two of them inducted in. Two quality players, I've got to say. We've come to the end of the show today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, Who Knows Wins. The link is in the description. Deposit £5. Chance to win 10 grand. Even though there's no Premier League games on, it's the international games. Good luck to all of our players on international duty. Of course, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli.
In the
got the Martinelli
squad,
top, by the way. I mean, if you want to rock this, link's in the description for that as well. But Martinelli in the Brazilian.
I'll have a word with Granit. No kicking Saka at the weekend.
Exactly. And you know what? All of the Arsenal players, take it easy.
Yeah, have a stroll.
Right? We ain't got no big squad to be getting no injuries or nothing like that. We need everybody coming home fit, well, and ready for that Palace game. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week with another Invincible podcast. The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.